Do a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up, we have our Pledge of Allegiance. We have
I asked, they don't say no.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, our consent agenda. Everybody's had a chance to review our minutes from our last meeting. Do we have a motion to approve them?
So moved.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next up, Dr. Frazier recognitions.
All right, good evening, board members and guests, staff. I have one recognition for tonight, and that one recognition is to Misty Osborne. Misty has served as our school nutrition coordinator for many years. I'm not gonna say how many years because there's a story behind that. She did the job a little bit, and then she left, and then she came back, because things were, and I think Mr. Jenkins might agree, but things were in shambles. And where the school division was monthly having to pay money to the cafeteria, give money to the cafeterias to keep our cafeterias afloat. So they could pay their bills, so they could pay their staff and do all the things. And when things were in shambles, they needed somebody to come get things straight. And that person was Misty Osborne. And Misty Osborne has done a phenomenal job leading our school nutrition efforts for many years now. She has had a surplus of funds where she's been able to do some special programs, where she's been able to upgrade equipment. She's been able to do walk-in freezers, walk-in refrigeration for both schools, things that were just needed. She's been able to make updates from the original things that were in our buildings, and we're talking about buildings that were built in the 60s and 70s. I can't say enough about our working relationship. I have been her supervisor since I started here in 2017, and we have a phenomenal relationship. And she is truly passionate about the students and the children here in West Point. She never wants to see a child go hungry, and will make sure that our children don't go hungry. And so for that, I decided that I was not gonna give her a plaque with some dates on it, because when you do that, that's like people are retiring. And I know Misty's left once, and she might come, and she came back, and so she might come back again. I know that she's looking to do something different. She's looking to step away, but she is still passionate about West Point Public Schools. And so I want to give her flowers to say thank you for all that she has done for our students and our school community. And I noticed she has a speech prepared.
I don't have a speech, but I would like to say something. What should they say? No, it's just a little bitty little thing. I can't get it out.
You good?
Thank you. It's been a privilege to work for West Point Public Schools. And under this leadership team, very special. Y'all did good. It's been a privilege to work with them. I want to thank y'all for always supporting me, because I've done some things, good or bad, but we're in good now, did y'all know?
Yes, indeed.
So we came up every month, but it's been a privilege working with y'all. I appreciate you supporting me. It's been a privilege to watch your children grow up. So, I'm Lorraine, and you know how I feel about y'all and about this place, so if you need anything, you just let me know. 'Cause I'm up the road. And he ain't gonna get rid of me, so it's all right. But thank y'all. I appreciate everything. So thank you.
Thank you.
Go on. Because I didn't bring my tissues. Thank you for my beautiful flowers.
You're welcome. Mr. Chair, that's my only recognition tonight.
Okay. Alright. Delegations, I'm assuming we don't have any.
All right.
Yeah. Unless they're hiding in the hall.
Everybody can get it.
Spring athletics, Mr. Robinson.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Short agenda. I wasn't expecting to be up so quick. Good evening, everyone. Thank you again for the third opportunity this school year to come before you and just talk with you a little bit about our athletic and activities program. We did have a good spring. The report that I know Mr. Leach put on in your packet, our participating teams, certainly the spring is no different than the fall and the winter. We certainly want to continue our work toward fielding both JV and varsity teams. I think we can all agree that in the long run, that will be the best avenue for us to continue with our growth and development of our programmings, and then hopefully somewhere down the road even expand on some of these opportunities. But had good numbers, had approximately 119 student athletes participate, and that's pretty much in line with our other seasons. Our teams, our soccer team certainly continued with their success throughout the year. Our boys team went through a coaching transition about halfway through the season, but certainly we were able to fill that with a good quality coach, and we certainly appreciate what Coach Hoffman did, and hopefully maybe somewhere down the road he will come back and join us. But they had a good season working through that. Our JV team, our co-ed team, had a perfect undefeated season. I think I finally hit a high note when I bought T-shirts for the undefeated JV soccer team. That was the quickest I had a group of students hit my office. As soon as I gave out one, the rest of the team was there in about 10 minutes. But again, it speaks to the quality of coaching and the kids that are participating in our soccer program, and certainly that bodes well for our future with our soccer programs. Our girls team obviously continued their run of dominance with both a district and another regional championship, which is significant in that they played up this year with the combined classifications that the high school league put forth, and then had a very hard-fought quarterfinal loss at home. The great thing was even as a 2 seed, we were fortunate where we hosted throughout the regional, which then led us to an opportunity to host a state quarterfinal. So a great season all around. Baseball, softball had a very competitive season. It's interesting in baseball. While the wins and losses is not really where we want it, 2 of those wins were against significantly larger schools. So we're very happy about that. Outdoor track continued to do well, and our tennis program had, I think, really good participatory numbers this past year. Individual accomplishments, I certainly don't want to go through these one by one, but certainly it's significant. Certainly what our kids are doing and achieving on the field is recognized, because these are selected. Certainly there's a nomination, but there's a selection process that's based on voting from other coaches. So certainly other coaches are seeing the work and the development of our kids. Not to pick on anybody, but baseball, having 3 all-district players, those are all very young freshman players that are here for the years to come. So the future bodes well. Kaylee coming back from softball, but having 2 first-teamers on the boys soccer team, 6 first-teamers for girls soccer. Outdoor track was certainly well represented in their postseason, girls and boys outdoor track. At the regional level, I would highlight, it's always tough. I hate when you put a student out there, it puts them out there, but I also don't want to take away from the other accomplishments. But McKenna, certainly it speaks volumes to her being another regional player of the year. That follows up from last year when she was both district and regional player of the year. So she had a phenomenal year. Without her and Anna and Lena being on first team, certainly we just would not have been where we were. So we're very proud of those accomplishments. Headley had another great state meet, finishing in the runner-up position in the 1600 and 4th in the 3200, and Oakley did a great job at the pole vault. To this day, you will never get me to do pole vault. God bless those kids that do it. That's not my cup of tea, but Oakley did a great job, not only advancing, but competing at the meet as well. And then on the last page, you will see, we had 55 of our student athletes that earned all academic honors. That's with a GPA of the 3.5 or higher. And, again, 55 out of 119, that's a great percentage. And certainly, just like fielding JV and varsity teams, we want to continue to grow that number. But again, we appreciate your support. We've talked over the course of the year about the baseball, softball field improvements. We just capped off, we're putting the finishing touches on the weight room renovation. We have teams that are over there as I speak to you right now that are working out. That's a great sign. Volleyball is already in the gym, getting ready for the fall as well. So we're trying to close down the current school year, but we're already looking ahead. So again, just thank you for all that and look forward to working with you down the road. But I'll take any questions or anything that you have. And hearing none, I'm gonna sit down and be quiet.
Yeah, just one thing.
Yes.
You mentioned a couple times that we want to continue to grow our numbers. I know you're kind of looking at JV, but as we kind of look to the future, just from a goals perspective, kind of what are some thoughts and ideas as far as for growing those numbers?
I think, again, it's just continuing to work with our coaches. I tried to take this first year to just listen and learn. I had a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. I said, if there's ever one piece of advice about leadership you could give, what would it be? And he said, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that order. And sometimes I've been guilty of not using that order, but I've gotten better. But it's about talking with them. I also want to continue working with our coaches. We do have some that have done a really good job of involving the middle school age kids. And while we need to tighten up on how we're doing that, certainly there's practice and some other opportunities that we can try to continue to evolve and take advantage of to keep them active, get them active, keep them active. And then I think just as a school division, just continuing to talk about maybe some sort of intramural or middle school programming. And I know we've had a number of conversations, and we just need to continue that. The great thing is we're having conversations. Now we just need to get a little bit further down the road and get, no pun intended, point in the right direction of just where do we want to go with this. Mm-hmm. And what I want to be careful of is, in a perfect world, I'd be standing before you talking about both middle school programming and high school programming. But I think I don't want to get too far over our skis because I don't think we're there yet.
Okay.
But certainly that would be the goal, long-term goal down the road.
Okay. Awesome. No, I'm glad to hear it. Let us know how we can help.
Thank you so much.
And just to follow up on that, we have had those discussions and need to make sure that we have a solid plan in place when school starts in the fall. But I think Coach Robinson is dead on. We don't want to try to do too much at one time. And so if you're starting with some type of intramural program versus trying to do a full-fledged middle school sports program, I think slow and steady wins the race, right? And so how can we get started with something without overextending ourselves at the same time? Mm-hmm. And we also have to be concerned about space and practice time and when students can compete, and so all of those things. And so once we can flush out some of those details, I think we'll be back to present a plan to the board as to what we can do this fall.
I think sometimes if I'm guilty of anything, I'm pretty measured and maybe sometimes doomsday. I don't want to get too far down the road, but certainly it just goes without saying we do want to get there eventually. And I think just one thing to add from my previous statement is we have some teachers that are interested in helping with those types of programming, but I also think partnering with one of our local YMCA and just how can the two programs maybe help feed off of one another, maybe help with some of their growth that they're looking to do, but also help us with what we're trying to do. And certainly LA, who everyone knows, coaches at our school, but also works with the YMCA. Those are conversations that we're having.
Yeah, I think that'd be smart. I mean, I will say one of the biggest things I'm hearing and have been hearing for a while is we have no feeder programs. And what about for these kids, like if you don't do travel ball, for a lot of these sports. So I think that's really important, even if we just start with, we have a football intramural and we have a soccer intramural, and we start with I know football needs some boys and I know soccer is super popular, so I don't know, but I think we definitely need to be, and I like the partnership with the YMCA. I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, items under study. First up, we have our crisis plan, 2026, 2027 crisis plan.
Good evening. I know I get the opportunity to come up and talk to you all a lot about different areas of our operations team, but tonight I get to talk a little bit about school safety. And so before I talk about the executive summary on the crisis plan review, I am going to just kind of highlight some dates that are coming up for our school safety teams. June 23rd, next week, we are hosting here at the high school, middle school, high school, unified command exercise with the police department and fire department. If you remember, we did this last June. We kind of pick a scenario, we utilize our crisis plan and the fire department and police department's plan, and we work together on how we would resolve the problem or how we would respond to the situation. And so we will be doing that again this year, and I think it's a great opportunity for us, one, just to work on our collaboration, our teamwork with all the agencies and departments. I also want to include the town will be a part of that. The emergency manager, which is our Mr. Hudgens from the town, will also be joining us through that. And their communications person will be joining us as well to kind of just work through how we would attack all aspects of the scenario. And so we're just looking forward to that exercise. In July, the 20th through the 22nd, we're sending a team to the DCJS School Safety Forum in Hampton. This happens every year. It's a great opportunity for us to send different team members each year to go and learn new best practices, just kind of stay fresh on all the different ideas that are coming out of school safety and some recommendations from DCJS, but really it just helps us as a team wrap our head around the concept of school safety and making that a priority. And so tonight I get to kind of talk about our crisis plan review. It is part of a 3-step process that we're required to complete each year for DCJS and the state laws, and making sure that we stay compliant. And the first part is our crisis plan review. Then we also have the school safety surveys that happen every year, which alternate between the high school and elementary school, that is sent out by DCJS that our staff participates in. And then this summer, the school principals will then certify their surveys from the school, and then I will do a division-wide survey or division-level survey and then submit that and certify that through the state. This was also our 3rd year in the school safety audit process, and so we do a safety audit each year with our school health and safety committee team in our division. We go out, we walk the property, we take the checklist provided by the state, and we go through that audit, and we try to make changes, whether it's just things that can be done within the operations team with just fence lines and different things with maintenance, and then we also look at opportunities for improvement, maybe equipment that we can purchase with the equipment grant each year that can help us enhance our school security. And so we do that every year, but every 3 years we're required to certify that and submit that audit, and this year was that year. We completed that on May 5th with our health and safety team committee as we did a walkthrough through the high school and the elementary school completing that safety audit. And then this part of the plan is the crisis plan review. We did a different approach this year. We met with our school safety teams monthly this school year and had an opportunity to review each section. If you remember last year when I brought the plan to you all, it was an overhaul because the state gave us a new model guide that we transitioned over to. It went from the before, during, and after sections was how we kind of categorized each component of the plan. And so we kind of did a major overhaul last year, and this year we took the opportunity to take that plan and meet with the school safety teams at individual schools and really review that plan in depth with each section, talking about that, getting feedback and input, which helped us to make any edits and revisions that we needed for this year. And so in the executive summary that you all have, it just kind of highlights some of the points that, some of the major updates that we've made. Some of those things were just to make it a little bit easier for us to follow. So like the first change you'll see is we wanted to reorder the standard response protocol in the plan. So when the state gave us the model plan, they had their order of the standard response protocol. And then we wanted to make sure they aligned with the visuals that we have throughout our division. So each one of our staff members has the standard response protocols on their badge. We have signage throughout the school. And we wanted to make sure that the plan went in that same order. So for example, we always have hold first is one of our things that we have there. So we want to make sure the first section in that standard response protocol was talking about what holds are and explaining that and using that same order. We also went in and changed staff and role titles. Of course, we have new staff members that come in each and every year, and so we want to make sure that those staff roles and their titles were updated. We also worked with our school counselors in the risk it's like behavioral risk, the risk assessment area. There was just a little blurb that they wanted to add where when we talked about those that may have signs of threat to themselves or threat to others, they wanted the term or has the potential to added to that plan as well, just to be more clear, have more clarity there in that statement. We also had in our old plan our Go kits in the classroom, so we actually went to, we call them Go buckets now. We have 5-gallon buckets in every classroom that have different items such as flashlights, laminated class rosters. We also have first aid kits in those buckets, and those are in every classroom just in case an emergency does arise. So we did change the term there to Go buckets, and we also listed out all of the updated items that we added to that. And then in the plan, we also just went in and kind of, the new model plan kind of put in a lot of different communication areas in the plan. So instead of like in the old plan, we had one section that just said forms of communication, it offers communication outlets in many different areas of the plan now. And so I just wanted to make sure that all those were updated. So we have Parent Square, which was new to us this year, added. And then we also added in there, since Parent Square sends out text messages, emails, we just wanted that to also be noted that those were, that we weren't just assuming that it was happening, that they are happening, and when we are in an emergency, those types of different communications are going out. We also, last year, I mentioned to you all, we were required to have a cardiac emergency plan. So we worked with our school nurses this year to really solidify that plan, and that plan was added to our crisis plan this year. And so we are now working on, with our plan having that in place, now working on becoming a Project Adam certified school, which is just it's a certification that will then, recognizes us that we are taking the initiative to make sure that we have the appropriate plans in place. It has requirements, which requires us to identify team members, make sure they're all CPR certified, make sure they go through 2 drills a year, that we're doing all the things that we're supposed to do, and we are in the process of checking the boxes to make sure that we meet all the requirements for that certification, and our hope is to have that certification by the fall before school starts. Other document improvements that we went through this year, we just kind of went through and did more of the editing of making sure that it was easy to read, easy to follow, simplifying terms, being a little bit more, keeping vocabulary consistent throughout the document, so vocabulary that we actually use every day, making sure that was reflected in the document so that we all understand what we're reading. When it says team members, who are we talking about? Making sure it's very specific and detailed there. And so those were all the main changes that we had to the plan. Again, we did the bigger overhaul last year, but we did want to go through and work with our team members to make sure that the plan was usable, a little bit easier to follow, but also making sure that everyone has their eyes on it and everyone is understanding where they can find the different steps when an incident does occur. That plan will also be for here, we house that here. Obviously, it's sensitive documents, we house it here in the school board office, but it is, if you all want to come in, just reach out to come in and review that document. Any questions?
I don't have a question, but one, I think it was smart that you met monthly with your team to chunk it, because it's a lot, and if you try to do it like your brain's gonna be mush, and so I thought that was really smart. And I would like to know more about the buckets. Like, you don't have to tell me out loud, but I want to know what's in those buckets. That's a really, really, I don't know if y'all came up with that, but that's actually really, really smart. I really like that.
Yeah, we definitely, other divisions, we've picked some good ideas from other places, and so we got those ideas from other places as well. So, but it was just something that we wanted to move away from kind of the Go kits that we were looking at to doing something a little bit more practical.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have our upcoming student code of conduct.
I have that. Similar to the work that Mr. Walker's done with his group, is very similar with the code of conduct. If you remember, over the past 2 or 3 years, we've done a lot of work on the code of conduct, not only in formatting, but also making it a workable document and not just a check the box type thing. This is also something that's reviewed throughout the year. Each administrator has it, and as they go through situations, they'll make their notes. And luckily, there are not a lot of changes in our code of conduct. I think we've done a lot of work, like I said, outside of the normal formatting changes and names and dates. The only 2 big changes that you'll see is we added nicotine to tobacco possession. So that was something new in the state code, and that's on page 43. And then as we reviewed it also, the appeal process was kind of jumbled. So we just reformatted that to make sure that the the proper process was under each suspension length. So whether it was a short-term suspension, long-term suspension, and what that appeal process looks like for parents. But really outside of those two big things, there wasn't a whole lot of changes in the code of conduct. I still encourage you to look over it, ask any questions, but our hope is that it will be approved next month so that we have it in place prior to the start of the school year.
Any questions so far on that?
Where is the Nick, I can't find the Nick.
Page 43.
Yeah.
Should be at the top, on page 43, in the heading.
Oh, just in the heading. Sorry, I was reading the actual thing. I got you. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I was looking in the actuals. The appeals process was on what page?
That's throughout the document.
Oh, okay.
But it was kind of jumbled, so what we did is we just kind of make sure the correct process was under each length of suspension.
Got you. Oh, okay, got you. Thank you.
Because at some point, if you read it, you would think that there was not an appeal process, so we just wanted to reformat it to make sure it made sense.
Anybody have anything else right now? All right, moving on to action items. Thank you, Mr. Leach, by the way. First up on our action items is our expenditures and revenue reports. Do we have a motion to approve our expenditures and revenue?
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up is cafeteria expenditures. Do we have a motion to approve our cafeteria expenditures?
So moved.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up is donations. We had several this month. And obviously, we appreciate all the donations. Do we have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up is our personnel recommendations. Do we have a motion to approve our personnel recommendations?
So moved.
A motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up, we have some policies to review. Policy JJAC. Fraser, is there anything you wanted to touch on that before we vote?
And so that is the policy that we pulled last month. There was still some question about some of the language in the policy. And so we have addressed that language in conversation with Mr. Chair, and we have added information to the policy where it says the role of the athletic trainer and medical clearance provider. And so that language has been updated, and so we would ask that the board would be able to approve that policy tonight.
There's no other questions or comments on that. Do we have a motion to approve JJAC policy as presented?
So moved.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up is policy GCBD.
All right, and so this policy is regarding staff leave and absences. And so the change to this policy would affect annual leave. And so annual leave is also known as vacation leave for 12-month employees. I don't have a better way to say this, but our process was very antiquated. And now that we have an online tool, which we talked about Frontline, we're now able to upload our annual leave into Frontline. And using that system, it will then subtract and keep employees updated on on how much annual leave they have. And so the change of the policy would be to give employees their annual leave upfront. And so July 1, all employees would get their annual leave at the beginning of the year, and then the system would be able to track that so employees can be able to see their leave throughout the school year. And there's a clause in there for if employees were to leave before, the policy addresses how we would handle that. But we think that this will be better for our employees. When we have folks that come in from other divisions and they may have already had their vacation scheduled, essentially they don't have any vacation time. But this would allow them to be able to access that vacation time in the beginning of the fiscal year.
Makes sense? Anybody have any questions on any of that? Do we have a motion to approve policy GCBD?
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up, item G, 2026-2027 consolidated application. We have a motion to approve the consolidated application.
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item H, our 2026-2027 Title III application. We have a motion to approve our Title III application.
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up, we have some surplus material for cheer mats.
Yes, and so we have some cheer mats that have not been used, that are pretty dated, and so it is time to get rid of those cheer mats so we can make space for other things on our campus. And so we have worked with our athletic director and our athletic department to be able to get the specifics of those cheer mats so the board can approve those as surplus materials. And then we will utilize our GovDeals platform to be able to post those so individuals can bid on those cheer mats so we can dispose of them.
Okay.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Will the funds that are received from that go to the athletic department? Are they like school-wide, or how does that work?
That is a good question. I guess we can make that happen.
I just wondered how that worked.
We can make that happen. We can donate those funds back to the school athletic fund.
Cool.
Coach
Yeah,
Robinson,
they-
don't let me forget I said.
I'll be the elephant, I got you.
Do we have a estimate of what we might get for them? Or it's just, is there like a lowest bid, or is it just, I mean, like
Seven
a
of
starting
them.
bid? $7, is that what you said?
Doing the old Price is
No.
Right, one
No.
no.
No, so we can calculate, like, kind of make an estimate of what, and then we
Yeah.
can set that threshold for what the
Okay.
lowest bid
I was
is.
just curious. It doesn't.
That
change
number
right
has,
away.
that number has not been calculated yet.
I got you.
But I will say, since we're talking about surplus, that we did see good results from our 2 buses that we put up for surplus. And we probably made more money off of used school buses than we've ever made. So
Nice.
it's still not a lot of money, so it's
Right,
not
right,
enough money to buy a bus. But we definitely
Very good.
Did better
did
than-
better than we typically would.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? All right, well, based off of that, and got you on record saying where the money's going, we have a motion to approve our surplus cheer mats being put to GovDeals for auction.
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. That is the end of our action items. Next up is information, Dr. Frazier.
So first, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Leach, and he's going to talk a little bit about our change in platform as Board Docs is going away, and there's a new platform that will take over. So I'll turn it over to him, and then I'll come back with some other information on it.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's basically it. Board Docs. Board Docs is going away. So they no longer support Board Docs. So if you've been in there, if you've noticed it's been kind of slow, they're moving to Diligent Community. So in your packet online, I put some information in there, put some videos for you to review, and we will attempt to go live with this on July 21st, so our next regular meeting. We've done some training myself and Ms. Overton, so we're still kind of working the kinks out on that. But I think it's going to be a lot more user-friendly, both for all of you, and then also a public site will be available as well.
Okay.
That as I get more into it, I'll be happy to share those things. You should have also gotten an email this afternoon, probably around noon, with an invite to get into Diligent. Not a lot is active in there, but at least you can get your account set up. And I'm happy to answer any questions as we get more into it.
Is it the same login or all new information for you, do you know?
All new
Yeah,
Okay.
I just did it before we started.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then the other informational item that I have, one is informational, but also recognition. So I just want superintendent's privilege to be able to say something nice about something. So this person is not receiving flowers tonight because they're not leaving the division. But I do publicly want to say that we appreciate all of the work that Ms. Roach has done over the last few years as our special education director. We are sad that she is stepping down out of that role and going into our speech language pathologist role. But I wanted to publicly say thank you to her. She has done a phenomenal job leading our special education efforts. I tell anybody that in her role as special education, federal programs, accountability, every area that she supervised over the last few years has gone through an audit of it by the state. And that is a lot of work. I don't know how they picked West Point all at the same time to do all of that, but Stacy was able to do it with grace. She worked hard. She put a lot of hours into it, and you will not find someone that is as passionate about doing what's best for children, even if that means being hard on adults at times. She is truly passionate about making the best decision for our students, and so I thank her for being on my leadership team. I told her I'm just going to have to come over to the elementary school even more to see her as she's serving our students in the world of speech. But I know that she will be happy in that role. She will have that smile on her face as the babies in that school are coming up to her, and still being able to go see the older children that might need speech services at the middle school, high school as well. So I just want to publicly say thank you, Stacey, for all that you've done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And last but not least, we do have a video to highlight our spring athletes. And so, Ms. Britt, if you don't mind cueing up the video.
Excellent. Thank you.
And those are all of my, that's all the information and all of my comments.
Awesome. Next up is just future agenda items. We've already talked about code of conduct and crisis plan. So our next meeting is the 14th with town council. Is that here?
That will be at the school, likely at the middle school, high school.
Okay. And then the 21st is our next regular meeting. If there's no other business, move to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank y'all.